That not work. I must have did something that it didn't go to the channel.
Hmm.
I'm still figuring out this shit.
This is live, y'all.
That's how it is.
Hello.
I'm still figuring out this. Okay. Okay. So I have the live on the side screen, so I can
Right.
look at it and see how it goes.
Monitor things.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So if you guys haven't checked out the podcast before, I'm Mr. Nothing Special, with my good friend here, Average Joe. Yeah. Again, this is my long form podcast, Devil's Advocate. Um, yeah. So this is where I get to just really talk things through, you know, get talk about opinions, talk about ideas, talk about maybe current topics. So, and I love this. I love the podcast, right? Devil's Advocate. It's one of my favorites. Probably the favorite thing about the channel, where I could get to just talk about things with my friend, and I think that's fun. Again, we're nothing. We're definitely no one special. We're not like intellectuals, or we're not influencers. We're not charismatic. We're not amazing talkers. That's not what we are. We're very just average people. Average guys just shooting the shit, just talking. So I hope you guys. I mean, I hope you guys enjoy it. Right, just on normal people, average guys, just talking, having fun. Um, you know, having back and forth debates, conversations, and shooting out ideas with each other. So, what I wanted, well, we're gonna have might be a long slate, so we'll probably be talking a lot about things. What I want to do, right? First thing is that some prominent, like I guess, current pop culture news in essence, right? Is the Jada Pinkett Smith crap, right? We've been hearing that so much. Why I do want to talk about it a little bit is that this is the thing where we sometimes as a society don't realize the suffering men are going through. So this is Will Smith, high profile man, right? High value man, famous man, just like maybe one of the pinnacle of manlyhood or whatever. And he's suffering in a marriage. He's suffering in love. So imagine a nobody, right? Imagine an average person. I think is 100 times worse. So this is where I want to reflect it, and where maybe we could gain some wisdom from these other people's experiences, right? And this is what I've done, right? Where going through hearing men talk, hearing all these videos, hearing other men's stories. That's how I became. That's how I actually wanted to make this channel, because I, have learned and heard other men's hardships, and that made me uh, want to understand other men's hardship, share my own hardships, and maybe help support other men, and maybe share wisdom and information with other men. Pretty much helping other men path in improvement, and you know seeking just being better, right? That's what I'm going to do. So yeah. So let's start it with the recent thing with Jada, right? This crazy ass evil woman talking about, people are finding out that her and Will Smith wasn't they were separated for years.
There are so many surprising things in the book, but the thing that surprised me the most, that I actually had to reread it because I said, is this true? Right. Was that in 2016, you and Will decided that you were going to live completely separate lives. It was not a divorce on paper, right, but it was a divorce. So from the year 2016, which is 7 years ago now,
Yes.
y'all have been.
And this is the thing, right?
Mhm.
For a woman was supposedly separated, or which is just ridiculous. That's a ridiculous thing. If you're divorced, you're divorced. Separated is just, it makes you, when you do things to make things messy, it's ridiculous, right? But you're separated, but with everyone looking from the outside in, and they made so much things public, right? Constantly talking about their relationships, constantly talking about each other, especially her constantly talking about him and their relationship. If you were separated, why did you focus so much on it, right? And then may essentially push him to make himself a fool, during the Oscars. You're separated. Why even, like, it's just, this is the thing where this is the ridiculousness of things, right? That I feel like, honestly, without Will Smith, she has nothing. In a sense where, I don't think she's going to get a career at her age, at her mark. I don't think she's going to have much of a career. But without him, I don't think she's going to be. I don't think she has much relevance.
Relevancy.
Yeah. So it's like, yeah, she's dying to have her name out there. But I don't know. What are your thoughts?
We definitely know more about them and their marriage than we ever should have. I 100% agree with that. And at least until recently, I haven't thought much about. I blame Jada for a lot, a lot of it. All right. So recently, two things happened. One, I got curious because we always say every time we see a clip of them or we hear her say something new, they're like she's beating up Will Smith. She's like treating him terribly. We always show that meme of him in pain during the whole red table talk about entanglement, which I think was a terrible idea, but whatever. But I was like, well, how does Will Smith feel about it? Like, what has he said or done? If he were completely out of view, I'd be like, yeah, he's become a recluse and he doesn't want to show his face because he was active on social media for a long time. He is active on social media. Have you seen his Instagram?
Yeah, the boy. Yeah, he's very active.
Well, he still is, and even as this is happening, he's made posts. Maybe they're just for show, but they make it look like he's okay and this isn't a big deal. And he's got Jada in his comments. He made a joke about it where he made it look like he was about to give an official statement, and
I saw that.
He showed up at a I'm trying to think what you would call it. Like kind of something like a book signing, an event that Jada was having for her book, and he showed up surprised and like spoke on mic to the people who were there to see Jada. I don't know. Is he just okay?
No,
And question: are we sure that Jada they didn't talk about the stuff that was going to be in the book before she released it?
I'm probably, but I can look. I see this, right.
Mm-hmm.
Will Smith right now is a shell of a man. Where he look at this, right? The things where he is an abuse victim that continuously goes back to your abuser.
Okay.
What is it that what is that?
Syndrome or something like that?
Stockholm syndrome. Yes, that's the thing where I honestly believe he loves her more than she loves him, but he loves her to the point where I think it's obsessive, where he can't do without her, where pretty much he sees no wrong in her. And I believe he's crossed the line to being dangerous. And here's the thing, right? I think Will Smith is the epitome of a man that will sacrifice himself for the happiness of others. Right? Here's an amazing video, right? I want to share this with you. I want your thoughts on it, right?
Mm-hmm.
The premise is this: women are selfish and evil, while men are they are selfless and duty bound. Okay, that's the premise.
Okay.
The biggest difference between
I think the audience would love this one. Okay, so check this out, you guys.
men and women's mindset.
The biggest difference overall in general with everything, life choices, whatever, decisions, whatever. I think men are more concerned with doing what's right, whereas women are more concerned with doing what makes them happy. You ever wonder why you have these husbands who are in these marriages where they don't have sex and the kids don't really appreciate him because he missed the soccer game because he was working or something like that? You want to know why that man will stay in a relationship for 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, regardless of his happiness? Because it's the right thing to do. Whereas a woman in that same situation will be with that dude who works hard, brings home the bacon, blah, blah, blah. He might have missed the soccer game because he was at work last night or whatever. She'll leave that man because she's no longer happy. And so I think, that's the biggest difference between the way we decide what we do with ourselves. And in my opinion, I think people who choose to do what's happy over what's right are evil to some degree. Because the thing is, they will do anything and sacrifice anyone to get to that happiness. They don't care how they get to it. They do not care about the collateral damage that happens behind them on the pursuit to the happiness. This is why women will do stuff like leave a perfectly good husband, abort their kids, sell their bodies, and just let everything out. Whereas a man will literally sit in an unhappy marriage because it's the right thing to do. Men deal with so much from their families that it just goes unsaid because we realize that we have to do what's right. This is why a lot of times, have you ever noticed when kids are like younger, like they always become enemies with dad, and everybody loves mom because mom is trying to teach the children to do what makes them happy, whereas the father's trying to teach their children to do what's right, and the two teaching styles always clash. Here's the crazy part though. When you love somebody and you put protections over them and boundaries over them and stuff like that, you're doing it to be a protective person, but it's, women think it's called being controlling. Even God has laws and principles and guidelines for the people he loves. The crazy part is Satan is the one that wants you to do what makes you happy, do what you feel. That's why
I figured you might like that part.
he did what she did. There was a strict set of laws to be, followed by while in the Garden of Eden, but she wanted to do what made her feel good instead of doing what was right. And I think that's why, as men, even though men ain't perfect, I think we do things that are more self-sacrificing of ourselves because we know it's the right thing to do. Where a woman is just like, I'm not doing nothing that's not going to benefit me, so I'm going to do what makes me happy, even though it could destroy everything around her. Here's another one because I'm gonna call this out before it even gets
Here. I want to dissect that because I think his other example is interesting. So I wanted to go. What's your thoughts so far? Do you agree with this amazing man's gospel?
So it's like he makes a point, but then takes it to like an extreme.
To be honest,
Uh-huh.
here's my thing, right? I see nothing wrong with the extreme, because to be honest, in today's age, I'm sorry, things have gotten to that level of extreme. So I would love to hear your view why why you don't well, I don't know by what you just said, why you don't see that it's accurate with that level of extremity, right? So continue.
I mean, it's hard to put into words, but I feel like we focus on a certain set of people, or a certain set of, let's say, women, and then we're like, all women are like this,
Mm,
and I don't think that's the case. I'll agree. I'll agree that I feel that women are more likely to make. We've talked about this before, an emotional decision, and yes, often to do what makes them happy, right? Without thinking about the overarching effects. Um, I'll agree that a number of men are more willing to sacrifice because we view what's right as protecting our families and providing for them. Although oftentimes there's a flaw in that, that men have, because one of the things we neglect or sacrifice when we're doing what's right is doing what's right for our family's emotional well-being. That happens sometimes. That's definitely a weakness of ours.
explain that one.
So a man who a man in a relationship where the woman is like, well, I, I'm not in love with you. You're not attentive. You're not around, and you ignore the kids' events and things like that. And the guy's like, well, because I'm working to take care of you. That's not all. It's like it's one or the other, when that's not always the case. And in most cases, there's a happy medium. There's an in between that will allow him to provide for his family and be there for them, because we underestimate how important it is for men to be there for their family sometimes, for to be there for their kids and for their wife. And we don't think about it until the relationship is in tatters, right? We didn't talk to, but we listened to the divorce lawyer talk about the things that cause a marriage to go bad. And he said it often starts with the little things, with people not wanting to do the little things for each other. And that snowballs into something. And you think that, oh, well, because she left or he cheated, that ruined the relationship, when it started a long time before that, when you guys stopped doing the little things for each other that
Here's
require effort.
this is my kind of thing on it, where a lot of times in today's age we expect perfection. So I'm not saying that it's impossible for a man to try to, and I agree with you, right?
Mhm.
Being there for your family is important,
Mhm.
but again, it's a double-edged sword. If a man wants to be there for his family, the sacrifice will be that she has to make an income. She has to do a job. She cannot be a stay-at-home mom, right? For him, see, this is the thing. This is the problem that we are facing right now, where if you think that a woman can have the luxury, because in today's day and age, being a stay-at-home mom is 100% a luxury. It is a luxury that most people cannot afford. So if a man can afford it, that means that, how is he affording it? By the sacrifice he's making. Of the sad part is like not spending enough time, because you got to think about this, right? What man does not? To be honest, if he's a good man and he values marriage and family, I don't believe there is any man that values marriage and family, right? That wanted to get married, that wanted to have kids. I don't think there's no man that held that. Like, I would rather not work and spend the time with my family. The issue is that to provide for that family and provide to a standard that a woman would be happy with,
Mm,
right?
mm.
What she would be happy with, right? Where she'd be comfortable, and he could have a house, have the provide for the kid, provide for the wife. He would have to sacrifice that time because perfect balance, that's hard. The majority of people won't find a perfect balance because majority of people can't afford a perfect balance. It's just how it is. For you to provide for those for so many people, right? Yourself, maybe 3 other people, you are going to have to sacrifice that time. No boss is going to be, oh, you want to spend time with your family? I'm gonna pay you for time off. What? No. Sad part is no one else cares about your problems. You have to work or you don't work at all. That's reality of being an adult. That's why I think it's stupid or unrealistic to think, okay, yes, let's try to do both. Have time for the kids and what is it? Have time for the kids and make a decent living. That's ridiculous. So that's the thing where I think we are not. This is where I think where we are not understanding the men's difficulty. Men are. This is what I said, right? That's what he said. Men are sacrificing that time, right? That time with their kids, that time with their wife, to give a good life for them. No man would choose who wants to work hard, right? And not have good time with his family. No man does. So I think when we're thinking too perfect, and I think this is why I think people have always criticized old school lifestyle because they're not understanding it. Because most women of the past, they had the luxury that most women now don't have. Stay-at-home moms, stay-at-home wives.
So it's definitely hard to provide for a family. It's hard to provide for yourself for most people. So I get that. But I would argue 2 things. One, you know what? I think it's Apple. Every time I put up the peace sign, it's like I think so.
For mine. Oh, you said it's for Apple?
Yeah, because I gotta see.
Okay, it is that. Okay.
I do that. Right?
You know that.
It's just a party. You're right. We're not perfect. We may give too much weight to our. So I made a point about looking at a certain subset of women. There's a certain group of women who they want to be stay-at-home moms or stay-at-home wives, and they want to spend money. They want to shop all day, hang out at brunch with their friends, and wear fancy clothes. Those women exist. Yes, they are not all women, and I don't even think they're most women. I think if I'm speaking generally, what I can say in general about most women is they do want attention and affection. They do. They
try to
do.
make the okay sign. What does that do? Nothing.
Peace does something.
Could you see the chat? Oh,
see, that does do something. So
could you see the chat?
I just updated my. No, I can't see the chat.
No.
Oh, hold on. Our chat?
Yeah.
Or the live chat?
Yeah.
I can't see the live chat, but that's because I'm not looking at the live. I'm only looking at our broadcast.
Well, there's this guy who's he's one of my followers, right?
Okay.
He's amazing. He's amazing. Yeah. He whenever he gets the chance, he always checks out my lives. So,
okay, that's awesome.
JR, he's an amazing person.
I'm getting on there right now to say what's up.
Yeah, but continue what you're saying.
Okay, so what I'm saying is, yes, there's a certain subset of women who they want all the things, and yes, it means if the man's gonna be a workaholic to provide all the things, then they have to accept that. But I think in most cases, women want attention and affection, and men want to feel respected and valued. So our need for respect and value comes from a lot of it comes from our ability to provide. Like we can say, hey, this is my family. I built this. I take care of them. I paid for this house and this car. This is me, right? I'm doing a good job because I'm a manly man. Respect me. So there's a little bit of selfishness in that, honestly. And if you overvalue providing, nobody's really happy because you're sacrificing the time you would spend giving attention and affection to your spouse, and at the same time you're working all the time, which will help you accomplish what makes you a man, but it isn't fun to do. For most people, we both agree, like it's not a thrill to do unless you have your dream job, you know what I mean? So nobody's really happy in that situation. I think the answer is not that you can always find a perfect balance, or that it's easy to find a perfect balance, but the answer is probably being willing to do with less. And I think that's realistic because if a woman wants your attention and affection, and if you're not spending time with each other, you don't have a relationship.
You know, this is the thing where I think this is where I kind of agree with you in a sense, where I honestly believe for average people to make a relationship work is that both people has to have two incomes, right? Two income family. A man has to and want to be attentive to his family. So if there are two incomes in that family, well then you can both, right, share that responsibility and be there active, right? I think when you divert from that, that's the issue. And I honestly believe modern women don't like that. They don't want to. This is a problem that I honestly see more and more, because you think about this. Why is one of the biggest reason for divorce is finances? That's what I think is happening, where women don't want to work. Women are tired, or they're tired of being forced to work, to have the hustle life, right? They're tired of like grinding, tired of the man not making enough where they don't need to work, right? They may want to work, but they don't need to work. Those are two different things, right? Having to have to work and being wanting to work. Most women now, you have to work or you just can't survive. And I think that's one of the issues women are finding that leads them to divorce. And that's the thing where I honestly believe that's one of the problems with modern day relationships and essentially with modern day women.
Well, I don't know. I think there are women out there who, all right, here's how I think you can have it all, or get as close as you can to it. Because we talked about either sacrificing the time you sacrifice the time you spend to get the money, or you sacrifice the money to get the time.
Mm-hmm.
To me, in the middle, you can sacrifice less time, and you can spend more time with each other by having a little bit less. Like, hey, if you and your wife have two children, let's say you have two children, do you need a 3-bedroom home?
No,
city? Or can you manage with a 2-bedroom and the kids share, or can you manage with an apartment in a less affluent neighborhood? Do you need 2 cars? Do both have to be new? Do you need car notes on both? You see what I'm saying? Like, can you keep is it possible to keep your work week to 40 hours a week?
See, that's the thing, right? Where
like, I got to work overtime to pay for everything. Maybe you're paying for too much.
And that's what I see your point too. That's why I said I agree with that. And I think that what makes that also work is that having that kind of mindset, you know, living below your living below your means, plus having 2 incomes. That's why I said, like, yeah, I think all those would be together. And I honestly believe that is the recipe for at least as close as a good marriage for average people as possible. I think that's true.
Mhm.
So it's would you have any other thoughts?
The other thing was, okay, we were talking about. He said women would do what makes them happy.
Uh-huh.
They think is right. Then he jumped and he said, I think women are evil. He kind of said that makes them evil.
Right. This is the thing where selfishness. That's where he views it, and honestly, I can see the logic in that. Where being selfish in that kind of situation is essentially evil.
I can see his point, but one, I don't think most women are like that. Two, when I brought up what I think women really value.
Here, let's see. Listen to the thing, right?
Uh-huh.
I want to say this. Let's not do that. Let's say I honestly will say majority of women.
I don't think so. I don't even think it's close.
I honestly think it's majority. Because remember what I said by side, right? If it's even like 51% of women, that's still majority. And I honestly believe there's more women selfish than there are none, even if it's just a little bit more. That's how I think it.
I think we misconstrue what we see. That's the point. Here's the point I'm making. I've already said it, but this will just sum it up. We view women who want what makes them happy as being evil and selfish, when really they just want attention and affection. And we view ourselves doing the right thing as working and sacrificing our time to provide, when really what we should be doing is sacrificing a little bit of that providing to spend more time with our families. So there's a little bit of selfishness in the man too. Yes, it is. And that's the point I was making. When you're like, when you want to be the man, I want to be the man. I want to be respected as the man. I want to uphold my position as the man. I don't want to spend time doing all this girly stuff. I'm providing. I'm working. I'm being a man. There's a little bit of selfishness there that we don't realize it because we think we're doing the right thing, but you're doing it for respect too. There's a bit of us that are doing it for respect. Making a little less, and I get it because young women and in social media, they touch on. We'll probably talk about it a little bit. They talk about if you're not a high value man or you don't have a job that makes a lot of money, they talk about you like you're a bum. But most average men have average jobs, right? And to make a lot of money doing an average job, you got to spend a lot of time working, a lot of overtime. Or you could sacrifice some of the stuff, right? You could sacrifice some of the money and be content with what you have. And so my point is, instead of worrying about the respect that comes with making a lot of money and accomplishing a lot, go with a little less, keep your work week to 40 hours a week, and you're living with less, but you're also present for your family. And I believe that a lot of relationships would survive that. Again, we talk about how a lot of divorces are about finances, but I think if you really looked at it, you see a little more going on below the surface there. For instance,
now this is the thing where I think you're honestly, this is when your blue pill is popping out.
I do it. I was waiting for that.
So this is the thing where you got to be wrong. You're so wrong in the sense that most men, I think majority of men, they don't. I mean, they don't find the happiness in the grind, in the hustle and bustle of working 9 to 5, especially average men. Right? They don't find the happiness in that. No. Average men, they would love to spend time with their wife, spend time with their girlfriend, spend time with their kids. They would love that. Okay. But at the end of the day, it's not the man that's making, and I've been there. I had my baby mom telling me, our kids need to go to the top school and that shit. Men are not the ones who are like, we need a house that's I don't know, big house in the suburbs, 4-bedroom, 5 bedrooms, shit like that, near an amazing school and shit like that. We got to go to the top school. Kids got to look good, right? Kids got to look presented. We got to take family pictures. Men are basic, right? they can live a very basic life. Men don't. I mean, yes, they might work hard to find the respect, but if they didn't have to work hard to get respect and love, they wouldn't do it, because you know it better than anyone, just like I do. Working sucks. Okay, it is tiring. It's just exhausting in every form, physically and mentally. Okay, so if we can get a woman's love and respect without working hard, we would do it at a dime. Okay, that's the thing where honestly, men do not choose. Like even back in the day, men don't choose to go to coal mines, go to the military, go to all these hard ass jobs, especially average men. Men don't choose to do these hard ass jobs, these backbreaking jobs, these jobs that cut your lifespan down. Okay, one of the things why men's life expectancy is down, is lower than women, is the job. Okay, job killed men. So really, what man is like, oh, I know this, but I'm gonna do it because what, I want to do it? No,
nobody consciously does that. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but it's instilling us as men to be the providers and protectors, right? And that's how it's always been, right? Hell, I'm telling you, right? I'm telling you, men would change that on a dime if they could. But the issue is that women won't show you the love and respect if you change that on a dime. Where, babe, let's live below our means. I don't want to work 40 hours a day, or I don't work so many hours, right? I want to just spend time with you and the kids. Oh, but you know what? We can't go on this trip to Disney. We can't go on the trip to Hawaii. We can't buy a house in the suburbs. Let's just rent. We can't take the kids to the top school in the city. Like, you tell a woman what she can't have, I guarantee you she will be signing those divorce papers and making you just sign it too. Because you've done this, yes? I said that only one of the big reasons for divorce is finances. I honestly believe the top reasoning for divorce is, what is it, the invocable differences? You know, that term?
Irreconcilable differences.
Yes.
That's just a general.
What's that mean?
Whatever.
Here's it's like there's no study to say what that means, but my personal opinion, right? And I'm going to tell you why my personal opinion is kind of based on fact, is that what that means is women's unhappiness. Okay, that's the that's the footnote, right? I think on every divorce paper there's a little asterisk on the downside, women's not happy. That's what it says. That's what it means. And why do I say that? It's because 80% of divorces are filed by women. Okay, that's why, again, it's not necessarily based on a study, but I'm doing a kind of like a correlation, right? Where if 80% of that is filed by women, let's say half of that, right, is infidelity. Well, at least 40% is, the what is it, the differences, right? So essentially, maybe 40% of that is unhappiness. So really, it's like, that's what I'm thinking, why I say that's the evilness, right? That's the thing where you're gauging things on your happiness. So if I don't make this woman happy, she will leave me. And most men, majority of men know this shit, right? If I'm not, so men, yeah, subconsciously they want to provide, but they also know that if they're not making their wife happy, right, then she will leave you. And it's like a balancing act, okay? Men are thinking about, okay, fine, what's going to make her more unhappy? Me not providing her for the things she wants, the clothes, the trips, the gifts, the things for the kids, all this shit, or me spending quality time with her. It's a balancing act that men subconsciously trying to figure out. And honestly, it's not perfect, because honestly, women want perfection. Women want it all. So really, at the end of the day, they break up with you, hoping for the next man that will give them all. That's the thing.
I don't believe that's most women.
There you
51% of women. I don't believe that's 51% of women. I think when it happens, it's so frustrating that it becomes bigger in our minds than it really is. What I mean, like, I don't think it happens that much. I think when it happens, it's a big deal. But I don't think it happens that much. And in the events where that happens, those two people have picked the wrong partners. That's what's wrong. Because all right, listen. Here's all I'll say. I think a lot of men are like me, right? We're average men. We're not looking for a woman who wants to live the high life, who wants cars and money and clothes. And a lot of beautiful women want that, and because they're gorgeous, right? They can get it, right? So they might not even give us the time of day.
bro. You are so far out of the dating market.
Crazy.
Even average women want that shit.
No women. Like I'm not. I get it, but I think if you're meeting women like that, you're looking in the wrong places. You're meeting the wrong women. If you think that all women are like that, you think that most women are like that. You think that 51%
most women are like that, right?
I don't.
Now look at this, right? They may not say that. Okay, I want Chanel bags. I want Gucci bags. I want trips to Abu Dhabi, right? But still, for the little things, right? I want a trip to Disney World. I want a trip to Disneyland. I want a trip to, I don't know, the Poconos. I want a trip to Cancun. I want to buy the mid-tier expensive bags. I want to every time every kid's like the kid is 5-year-old, buy him a Nike shoes. Kid at 66-year-old, buy him another Nike shoes. It's just, yes, it's a different level, but it's still essentially the same mindset. I believe that is. But
I've seen that woman. I've met that woman before. But I think you're describing a selfish woman.
People saying that
because well, yeah, but here's my point. You're describing a woman as like, I need, I want. And you're saying all women need and want. I'm saying I'm saying that most women understand give and take. And I don't think that 51% of women are all take and no give.
I think 50% of women are more take than give. I'm not. I compromise with you. I'm not saying that. Okay, it's only take, but I can tell you this, right? My ex, who majorly take, cooking me a meal every night. It's not. It's barely giving. That's barely giving. Oh, really? It's like, okay, great, but I just spent a couple band on you last week, and you just cooked me a meal that cost maybe, I don't know, $20. Great.
Effort.
I'm not saying it's not, but I'm saying like the balance, right? So that's the thing where, but I don't know. We could continue that, but let's.
All right.
Let's go on to the thing. Here's his second thought is pretty interesting.
Okay.
Says in the comments, you don't hear about men who like want the girl to get abortions because I brought up abortions, right? But it's never actually talked about why. It's because in that situation, the man knows this isn't the right way to raise a kid. If you just with some girl and y'all just had some thing and y'all got drunk and one thing led to another, as people say, and she calls you and say, I'm pregnant, the guy knows this isn't the right situation to raise a kid under. And that's why the dude is like, yo, you need to go to the clinic and handle that because this isn't the optimal situation to raise a kid in. Whereas on the flip side, Here's the crazy part. A woman can have a baby in the right situation, but she'll say, this isn't what I want right now. And in pursuit of her happiness, her career, her goals, she'll abort it. Not that the situation was wrong, that it just wasn't the situation she wanted. You ever notice that the saying for women is do what's right for you? Men don't have that mindset when it comes to doing what's right. Our mindset is do what's right. But when it comes to doing what's right for a female, it has to be what's right for her and not what's right, period, across the board. You know what I'm saying? So I think those are like the biggest differences between men and women overall. And yeah, honestly,
I thought I thought that example was quite interesting, very thought provoking. What do you think?
I mean, it is something to think about. I mean, I do think that again, and I guess he's speaking a little bit from a religious point of view. Me too. I mean, the traditional family roles and religion, the hierarchy in family is usually the man is the captain, right? Um, and the woman is the number two, and then the children are the rest of the team. But and in Christianity, I guess, and in traditional roles, like if you were raised on the Bible, you were taught that there are differences between men and women that make them more suited to those roles. Uh, so yeah, I don't think he's like wrong when he says that a man will look at men and women have different points of view on the same
But
situation.
see, I think that's, and if you do agree with that kind of thought pattern, which I do, I see the logic in it. Kind of gives more credence to women are evil
Okay.
in the sense that if we equate selfishness
Mhm.
or high level of selfishness, right? I think men can be selfish, and they are, but high level of selfishness. Now you cross into maybe one of the sins, right? You're kind of evil in a sense, quote unquote, right? So
Mhm.
I can see that logic, right? And I to be honest, that whole video, I saw nothing but logic from the man.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. But here's something that I think why um I talked about this right on my TikTok. I think I would love for you guys to check it out too. I want to get your perspective where this showed me more of how what I think why the evilness and selfishness of women, of modern day women. Okay.
It broke my heart that I could never do it for him. I'll never forget the day we sat on our couch in the living room and he was like, I just want to have a really honest conversation with you. And I just want you to like tell me exactly what it is. Not this cute answer, not what you think I want to hear, none of that shit you've been telling me that you're working on it and it's just you and you in your head and all that. Like for real. And I told him the truth. It's a disconnect. Like I'm not naturally attracted to you in that way. And it's probably nothing that you can do about it. And his face, it was like, you remember Mortal Kombat when he would go in the chest and smash the heart out? That's what I felt like I did. In this whole be honest with me, I was like, the man asked me for honesty and I gave it to him, but I don't think that that's what he was thinking I was going to say. And that was pretty much the beginning and the end of our relationship. Yeah, I can imagine. Then the weird part for us, that was when the whole open relationship dynamic was introduced and almost as a means to save our relationship. And in the moment, I didn't think that that's what it was, but I later learned that that was like last ditch effort and a really, really, really bad effort because it pretty much tore us apart. I wish we had never done it. I don't have a lot of regrets about anything in life. That's one thing I very much wish we never did. It wasn't for us. And that's also not something you should do to save your relationship. Threesomes, bringing other people into your bedroom to save your relationship, really, really, really bad idea. If it's something you all just like, you think it might be sexy or cool, great, knock yourselves out. But bringing a person in because
Yeah, she was talking about a lot of crap. But reading the caption is, women had to tell her husband of 16 years, 16 years, she was no longer attracted to him physically. And let's give a little, I mean, it's a small context, right? Because she didn't go in detail, at least in this clip.
Mm-hmm.
She said there was nothing he could do. So essentially, let's imagine this, right? If he was fat and he got fit again, would that change her? She basically said there was nothing he could do. Right? That's what she said. So I mean, like, if she meant to go, he was fat, but if he changed this, maybe I would love him again. No, she said, I just lost my feelings for you. And essentially, there's nothing you could do to change that. So really, this is a short clip. So yeah, maybe I'm taking things out of context. I said my part because on the TikTok, and I will have a video for that uploaded to YouTube later on, whatever. But I more want to talk about how you think about that. Plus, your thoughts on, like, I absolutely abhor the notion of saying that I've fallen out of love with you. Women doing that, even men, I don't care who, right?
Mm-hmm.
Saying that you can fall out of love with someone that, one, you spent years with, two, you married, three, you have kids with, and to have the audacity to say that I've fallen out of love with you throughout any kind of period, it is, in essence, evil in my eyes. It is so selfish. It is so disgusting. It is unbelievable to me, right? I cannot fathom how you can say you've fallen out of love with someone where you married the person, you spent years with that person, and you have children with that person, okay? And then on top of that, saying that the person can't do anything to change that, then it's more, I give up. It's absolutely disgusting in my eyes. So I would love your thoughts on it. Pretty much just sharing your thoughts because, again, like I said, hope you guys will check that out when I check out either my TikTok or I will eventually put that video up. But I want your thoughts on the video and what I just said.
I think she is, man, it's a lot. There's a lot going on there. So we don't know much about what was going on in their relationship. I would still say that a lot of however she feels in that moment, however she felt, she had gotten to the point where she could say to her husband she wasn't physically attracted to him anymore. There's probably more going on there. And I mean, I'd still blame her for that. But I've heard from multiple women and that physical attraction is different for women than it is for men. Not that they're not, and I'm a man, so there's only so much I can say about what a woman's physically attracted to, but often it's less important to them than the connection you have with the person you're with. Usually we're the visual creatures, right? We see something like, oh yeah, I like that, right? But in most cases, women, yeah, they're physically attracted to certain things, but in most cases, when you have a real connection with someone, that takes priority over the physical attraction.
I'm the same thing. That's why I say it's the bull. That's why I say it's BS.
Yeah,
I say it's bullshit because literally, you might as well say that I don't feel love for you anymore. After 16 years of marriage, I don't love you anymore. You are disgusting, selfish.
What sucks about that is, like, if let's say two people who were very physically attracted to each other, man and woman, got married, and you spend 16 years with this person. Ideally, you guys should be closer as friends so that I mean, 16 years into the marriage, the physicality isn't based on so much on what that person looks like anymore. That's your partner and your best friend. So for you to lose physical attraction for them kind of implies, like you said, you've really lost any connection to them. If you lost connection with them, then something else is going on. It's not just their physical shape. There's something else going on there, that you can't say you're attracted to your partner anymore. So yeah, I think there was. So my guess is, because it's only a guess from that little clip, and there's deeper issues with their relationship, and maybe with the way she was viewing their relationship, than just physical attraction. Yeah,
But I want to like, even let's take it out of these two, which is this woman is disgusting and selfish. But this is, I honestly believe, let's not forget the statistics. About 50% of marriages end in divorce. 80% is filed by women. So it's majority, right? Majority of women, at least majority of married women, feel like or like this right here. Okay, you can't fudge the facts. Majority of women, right, and those are statistics that's proven. Okay, majority of women are like this piece of shit right here. Okay, this is what I'm saying, and this is what average men having to deal with, and this is why average men are scared and walking away from marriage. Right? Even if me and you, right, we are commitment minded, we are marriage minded. It won't change my mind that I'm scared of marriage too. Right? Like as much as commitment focused I am scared about marriage, right? Because I've been there with just relationships where a woman would leave you, woman would destroy you. So imagine if you married a woman, you gave her such a high commitment, and she would still, because let's not forget, those vows, Western culture, this is a Western woman. We're taking vows that everyone knows, right? Since childhood, right? Through rich or poor, health and sickness. It's just all these bad times and good times. You stick by the person. You don't choose marriage because, oh, I don't feel like it, then I'm going to leave. No, that's not how marriage is. So this is a thing where majority of married women, right? Even if you want to say majority of women, the majority of married women, they don't believe in the vows anymore. Because here's a woman that I'm not physically attracted to you. Who knows? She didn't say I'm emotionally attracted to you, because like we said, that's why it says BS, because we know women can find love for a person on multiple levels, right? So, okay, fine. You didn't physically attract him, but do you not emotionally love him, right? You didn't love his character, love his personality, all this stuff. That's BS, because I think let's footnote it that she just felt I don't love this man anymore. His qualities I don't love anymore. I'm over it. I want to find a different man, right? That has maybe better qualities, or I found another man that has better qualities. That's the shit that women don't want to say. And this is the thing where men always say women monkey branch, women are where's the loyalty? It's just, this is the thing, right? But I'm talking more than you I want you to
I will offer this as a counterpoint though, because it's devil's advocate, right? So we only heard that clip and only her side, and there's probably more to the. Maybe you've seen the rest of the interview. I don't know, but in situations like that, I do think I'll say this. I don't think it's good. I don't think it should happen, but I do think it's possible to fall out of love with somebody. It's not. But let me explain. Here's the assumptions we're making about their relationship. That the man's a good man, right? Do we know that for sure?
But you got to know. But okay, you're right. There is assumptions, but we got to say, right, surface level. That was not her first go to, right? She said, I fall out of love. I mean, like, I'm not attracted to you. She
Right.
didn't say that, oh, this man is abusive or this man is toxic. I mean, like, there's no, see, this is the thing, right? Let me tell you this, right? I honestly believe, right? Again, with what I tell you, where the majority of women that file for divorces, what they said is irrevocable differences or whatever. I honestly believe the man is good men, or I don't know, good as it can be, right? To the best of his ability. He's not abusive. He's not toxic. He's not cheating, right? The typical crap. No one's perfect. Right. No one's perfect, okay?
Yeah.
But again, he's not doing the typical terrible shit, right? He still loves you, say I love you, still provides for you, still thinks about you, still wants to have sex with you, all these things, right? It's just the women finding, oh, I don't feel it for you anymore. And I honestly believe that is the most biggest BS in marriage and relationships ever. Because you got, like, my train of thought is always this, right? I get with a girl, okay? She loves me for my personality, right? I'm a geek. She loves me. I'm a geek. She loves that I'm direct. I'm opinionated. That I I love to take care of her. I can name all these personalities, right? Okay. And then my body's, I'm a chubby guy, right? She looks at, she sees what I look like, right? And she still decides to be with me, okay? And then, okay, all these other things, right? All these attributes, all these traits that you see of me. A woman still say, okay, I love you. I want to be in a relationship with you. Okay, awesome. 1, 2, 3 years. I still love you. I want to marry you. Okay, boom, we get married. 10 years later, I'm still the chubby, annoying, geeky guy. Right? That's how it is. I've fallen out of love with you. Are you kidding me? What's changed about me? Did I got chubbier? I mean, it's like I was already it's like, this is what I'm saying, right? I honestly believe that's how a lot of relationships, marriages are. They don't, I do agree that people change, but people don't change that much in lifetime, right? Especially in adulthood. Because let's say if she met you or met me at 30, 35, and now or let's say she met me at 30, okay? Now we're 40. Okay, now she wants to get a divorce. I haven't changed that much from 30 to 40 or 30 to 45. There's not that much changed. Okay, that's the thing where we don't realize that's true reality, right? I'm not going to become, at 30, I was a Buddhist, and then now at 45, I'm a neo-Nazi. I mean, come on, what kind of weird change is that? No, that's not how it works, right? That's not really how that shit works. Yeah, you change. Oh, I was kind of a Democrat. Now I'm a Republican. Okay, that's a slight. That's like, okay, that's whatever. That's a little thing. In all honesty, that's little. So really, it's like, it's not an extreme changes. So then, falling out of love, I think that's BS. That's women BS to saying, like, you know what? I think I'm not. You know what? The qualities I thought I love about you, I don't really love. And then I feel like, you know what? Maybe, and this is the part where I'm going to get, there's no study or whatever, where I think women say, like, you know what? I think I can do better, right? I don't think I need you. I think I've grown, right? Now I'm making my own money. Now I have money. Now what's good? What you're not doing better. Things are not better, right? We're still in the same house that we've always been. We still make the same amount of money we've always made. I want better. I want a better man. I want a man that provides better. I want a man that looks better. I want a man that acts better. Hoping the grass is greener. Women live by that selfish model. Hoping the grass is greener.
Okay. All right. I mean, I was gonna make a different point, but like, if that's the case for that woman, then yes, that sucks, and she sucks. And when that happens, you've already promised yourself to a person, and then you decide you want better after you've made a commitment. That sucks. Voicing it like she did. I mean, it's a terrible way of thinking and feeling. It's probably one where a lot of times you want to see if the grass is green on the other side, and you go over there and you realize what you've lost, and now things change, and but you've already ruined your relationship. You know what I mean? So you lose out on a good thing. I guess what I was going to say before is that there are certain things that can kill attraction between a man and a woman, and if those things will pile up, I guess what my ultimate point is, if a woman says something like "I'm not physically attracted to you," I don't think that physical attraction is the real problem. I think there's another problem, and it's being voiced as "I'm not physically attracted to you," but it's probably a whole lot of little things that have changed their mind. Now, if it's just "I think I can get better," well, that's awful, right? Because that is I think a woman or a person being selfish. But are they with a man who, okay, one act of infidelity? I think one act of infidelity can kill the attraction between a man and a woman. Once, just once. And I think it can kill things. And it can be once 5 years ago, and hey, I forgive you and we're gonna work through it, but you're never able to work through it, right?
No, I agree.
That can, years down the road, voice itself. It can still voice itself as "I'm not physically attracted to you anymore because you're tainted to me in my eyes." You know what I mean? That can happen. If you, let's say you combine it with someone who's become depressed, and so they're not taking care of their hygiene, or they take up drinking. Not to the point where they're falling over or stumbling, but they're less responsible, they're less attentive, they're less healthy. I see how things can pile up, and I'm not blaming the other person for that, or saying that it's okay. But I'm saying I see how things can pile up in a relationship to a point where somebody can be like, "I am not attracted to you anymore. You have become somebody different. You haven't gone from being a good person to a murderer, but you are not the person you used to be. And we can work through this and get you to a healthier place. But if you're not willing to try, then..."
See, that's the point where I would say, okay, that's the point where I agree with you. If there's no effort, I agree with you. But let's not forget, the marriage vows are said for a reason.
I agree.
Right?
No, I agree
It's
with that.
sickness, which is, alcoholism or whatever, right?
Yes.
Sickness and in health, right?
Yeah.
Poor and rich. If you're not making the efforts to change things, to actually, improve things, I get that, right? I agree with that. That's the point where I agree with. But if you just say that I'm unattracted to you because now you're sick, then no, that's stupid. That's selfishness, right? Sticking with people and this is where I think that's the problem with modern relationships right now. Relationships of today's age, people do not work through the hard times, right? I don't believe people do that, right? They don't, and they don't make the effort to work through hard times. So that's what I do see, But okay, here's another video which is interesting. We're talking about it. The Tyrese has, I don't know if it's recent or anything, but I've been seeing videos of Tyrese talking about his ex-wife, his marriage.
Okay.
Right? I think it's interesting. And this is where I get the title, right? The Angry Black Women. This is where they become delusional and not see the logic.
Okay.
I want you to watch this quick interview with Tyrese, and I want you to tell me.
Oh, and this woman, right?
Mm-hmm.
She's perfect for she's perfect for material, right? She's perfect for making videos. I did a video on her. You should check it out myself. You should check it yourself too. A while back on her hypocrisy on saying that, let's say, how women, wealthier women, right, marrying men that are not as equally yoked, right, don't have the money, getting divorced, and then having to pay these men, alimony, or have to give these men half of their assets and shit like that. And her voicing her disdain for these men, for pretty much what all women have always done, right? Her voicing that disdain. So that's the kind of the context I want you to understand as well, and for the audience to understand that this woman she's definitely bitter and don't see the logic, the hypocrisies in the things she say. Okay, so
what was your biggest takeaway? Because I can't wait to tell you mine.
This was a woman that was very simple, who I met in a $12 sundress and prided herself on being simple. And I don't care about money, stars, celebrities. I don't need to live and be around. I'm a simple girl. Now you want $20,000 a month for a 1-year-old? Now you've hired 3 law firms. My prenuptial agreement was so detailed and so extensive. My lawyer whispered, she had her own lawyer to negotiate on her behalf. My lawyer, Tanya Mitchell Graham, said to me, I can't believe you got her to sign this. And I said, well, the reason I got her to sign it is because she said to me specifically, this ain't mine. That's your publishing. Those your cars. It's your house. And if we ever separated because I didn't get in this for any of that, I will sign every piece of paperwork that reflects that I don't want none of that.
Now, I'm sure when he did this interview, what he probably thought he was driving home was the fact that these women took advantage of him, that they only wanted him for his money. But lucky enough, he's a smart man with an ironclad prenup, and they got nothing. They tried to use him, and he pulled that Uno reverse on them. The thing about it is, all I really heard was, all it takes to get you is a $12 sundress. All you cared about is booty, brains, and beauty, and you're not looking
booty, brain, and beauty. That's what she got.
For a woman with any depth, and that's why they continue to use you. Every single couple of months, every couple of years, every relationship, Tyrese jumps on the internet and says the same thing. She tried to use me for my money. Sir, when are you going to realize that the call is coming from inside the house? That there must be something about you. You must be leading with money. You must be not vetting these women properly. Because how does every single woman know exactly what it takes to get you? And the blueprint, the starter kit to play Tyrese is a $12 sundress. Because every single woman you get used by. You brag about how smart you are with this prenup, but yet these random women in $12 dresses keep lighting you up every time. Seriously.
The hypocrisy. Saying that he didn't vet her. The things he just said, right? Right? The things he said, this is what I said, right? Women do not see their delusion. The things he said, that she seemed like a simple woman. A simple woman, right? She didn't care about money. She signed a paper that even the lawyers were amazed that any woman would sign because it showed her personality, who she was. Essentially, he was vetting her. Okay? And this is the thing where leading with money, no, you are a rich, famous man. That's who you are. You can't hide it. What do you mean not leading? Like, seriously, like, what is he going to do? Take her to McDonald's on the first date? That's how he could like maneuver, like ninja her, like try to put a veil on her by taking her to McDonald's? Leading? No. This is not a man. This is not a man that's like as me and you, where they don't know us, and then we take them to, I don't know, the most expensive restaurant in the city, and take them to the most expensive restaurant for days in, days out. No, that's not how it works. That's not how it is. Okay? That's not how, because that's just who he is, right? If he goes to a restaurant, which we may think is expensive, it's just average to him. So really, he's not leading with money. He just has money. Okay? This is the delusion of women. No, it's not. And it's just, this is why I preference what I said in the beginning, right? This is the delusion. So here's you criticizing the man for how he chose. But on the flip side, if it was turned around, it was a black woman, right? Getting her money taken from her, she would be criticizing the man taking that money from the black woman. The hypocrisy of it, the delusion of it. He wasn't attracted to her because she was just all body. He literally described a personality, right? A person who didn't care about looks, who didn't care about money, didn't care about fame, right? Just wanted to be an ordinary woman, quote unquote, right? She probably cared about love, right? Cared about catering to her man, right? Essentially that. He's not talking about, oh, this was the most gorgeous woman and that's it. No. He talked about how simplistic she was, right? And he liked that about her. How simple and not too extravagant she was. That was a kind of a personality trait, okay? But yet a black woman not seeing that, blinded by just, okay, this is a black man, I'm going to crucify him. This is the thing where I'm going to show you another again. I'm sorry, but the biggest attacker of black men ain't policemen. It's black women. You cannot prove otherwise, because the biggest like, what is it? Not deter, not the biggest, I don't know, hater of black men is black women. This is why, right? I go up on here and talk about this shit, because I hear it. I care about my black men, my black brothers, right? And I constantly hear this shit. How, this is what I said, right? The hypocrisy of this, right? Where here's a woman that she's not protecting her black men, right? But she's criticizing them. Yet, right? Here's the delusional equality. If it was a black woman, and she's done that, if it was a black woman in the same situation, she would criticize the men for doing it to the black woman, right? Trying to get her money. Because she's done that. I have a video proof of that. She's done that where she blamed the men trying to get that woman's money. And yet, when it's a black man, when it's flipped around, when it's a man, okay, and let alone it's a black man, she's attacking the man. And literally, she's ignoring the facts. He literally was not describing her by looks. He was describing her by archetype, in a sense, right? He wasn't saying, oh my God, this woman was a big booty, big chested, absolutely gorgeous face woman. No, he was saying that she looked simple in a dress that wasn't that costly. So it reflected her personality, where she wasn't a big spender, where she maybe didn't care about money like that. Didn't care about being flashy like that. Right? That's an archetype. So he liked that archetype. And sadly, he was fooled. And maybe I don't know Tyrese like that. Okay. So maybe he was fooled a lot of times. But okay. So what? So you do the opposite and find a woman that's loud, flashy, loves money. That's not what he wants at all. Sorry that women are lying to him, right? That he wants a woman that's not about the money, not about the glitz and glamour, right? Sorry that, women know the archetype. Okay, but it's not his fault that women are choosing to lie to him. This is the thing where, that's why I said the difference between men and women and shit, okay? Men are just, they're simple. They know what they like, right? So really it's like, okay, if the man likes that, okay, should he just turn his back on what he likes? Especially when it's like really just, he kind of likes average in a sense, right? Of course, maybe the woman is beautiful, but I mean, average in like, you're not wanting to be a celebrity. You're not wanting to be famous. You're not wanting to be a millionaire, shit like that. this is the hypocrisy of women. What do you think?
Guess I have more questions and thoughts. I'll say that I think sometimes Black women, and this is in social media. So again, I still believe that it's not most women, it's just the loud minority. But I think sometimes they're often the loudest. So I'll go with that. I never had a Black woman. I haven't heard of a Black woman calling the cops on a Black man and weaponizing their Blackness against them. So I will put police and white women ahead of Black women on the list of.
Is it? I don't think so. But.
Absolutely, I think so. But I'll roll with you if you say sometimes they are the loudest critics, and yeah, they're like her often unfairly. I won't disagree with that. It's a hard argument to. I didn't love that video that she just did, but it's hard to say that. Why is it hard to say that? Because every time we argue that somebody is the most or the worst, it assumes that the other party is completely innocent, which isn't the case. Right? Like maybe it's not. I don't think it's fair for her to attack his preferences. That's not fair. And to start calling him empty. From what he described, it looks like he met a woman who presented herself a certain way, and he liked that. But he took precautions. He made a prenup, right? He said, "Hey, we can get married, but I'm writing this prenup up because if it ever doesn't work between us, I want to keep what I had going into this marriage." And she agreed to that. So there really isn't any reason to attack Tyrese. As far as what I heard, that sounds fine. Is it true that this happens to him often? If it does, he may have some culpability in that. He may need to work on the way he judges women. But that's beside the point. He made a move to protect himself, and he said, "Hey, we can go into this relationship if we agree to do it on these terms," and she agreed to those terms. I think that's it. I don't see any other. I don't see anything else you can say. You can't say anything. I don't think you can say anything bad about him in that situation. So I don't think that video she made was fair. I don't think that is fair that she attacks him because of what he said. So that sucks. That sucks when women do that. It sucks when, I guess, when Black women who, I think they do it because they feel like they're being, less valued, and they're speaking out on it. Yeah, she's missing a point, and you're right that often women benefit from divorce for the same reasons. They get out and they want half. If this woman who left Tyrese now wants all his money when she agreed that what was his ahead of time, then he's been bamboozled, and that sucks. So I agree with you in that situation. I don't think that means that across the board, Black women are the biggest haters of Black men. I just think sometimes it feels that way because they're loud. They are loud. But she's being, for instance, she's being loud, right? She's being loud. Not because she's yelling at the camera or anything like that, but because she's on social media and she's broadcasting her opinions to everyone. It's kind of
you gotta think, right? Okay. But again, what about the ones that are quiet, right? 33,000 likes.
Okay.
Over 2,000 comments. Majority looking at it seems like they're agreeing with her. They're not disagreeing with her at least. So really, it's like, you're right. I don't disagree with you that, yeah, you hear the the majority ones are, I mean, the ones that are loud or vocal. Yeah, I agree with that point. But the silent minority, the silent ones, they keyboard warriors, or the keyboard people, they they're not calling her out for it, and
Okay.
they agree with it. I honestly believe that
I'm gonna tell you about
women
silent.
are kind of like that.
Yeah. Okay. Here's what's silent. Until you see it broadcast. No white woman speaks out on social media about their thoughts about a black man, right? But when a woman's caught on camera lying on a black man, or saying she felt threatened or in danger because a black man was near her, or trying to or to win an argument or a quarrel, she cries for help, and alligator tears comes down her face, right, and she's, police, he did this to me, right? They never broadcast that on social media. Never. They don't get on. They don't get. I'm not saying no. I'm saying the women don't. And we see it because somebody has a camera.
No. See. Let me again. I'm not saying that is a lot, but let's have one counter argument.
Mm-hmm.
Remember when we did the Jonathan Major thing?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
That it was shown online.
Yeah.
And what did the black women do? They chastised him because he got with the white woman.
Right.
They weren't backing him up as a black man. They were tearing him down because he was a black man going with the white woman. So really, they were still hating on him. Okay. I'm not saying that. Again, I see your point. I'm not saying that it's a majority case, right? I'm not saying that's a lot, but even in that cases, black women still bag on black men. Okay, and I again, let's say this, right?
Who knocked down the domino that might still cause Jonathan Majors his career?
What do you mean?
Who kicked down the first domino that might eventually cost Jonathan Majors his whole career?
That white woman?
That white woman.
But you gotta think. Let's say this.
Get online and say this is what I think about black men. No, it didn't come out until there was an incident. But how many incidents have there been like that? And how many have been more serious? How many have cost men their lives? That's why I'm saying, and I'm not saying that all white women are like.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, I don't think that's a good enough sample size. I don't. To be honest, I don't. Here's my thing, right? Statistically, black men. Let's say even marriages, because I don't know about relationship level, right? But statistically, black men marry black women majorly, right? So really, I'm not saying that it doesn't happen, but now I think I honestly say that what it happens with you is very minute. It's a drop in the bucket, in my opinion, because I don't see black men seriously getting with women of other races on a high scale. So for that to happen, right?
So you're just talking about in relationship terms, or you were talking about just overall?
Well, we're talking about overall. I mean, like, okay, let's say overall, when I said the biggest hater of black men, I don't know if I would say that's a hater. That's probably one of the bigger dangers for black men. I'm not saying that police brutality is not a big danger for black men, right? It is.
You gotta hate me to try and use it against me when it could cost me my life.
To be honest, I've seen black police officer. I've seen black police officer. What is it? I recently heard a story. I don't know. It was like 4 black police officer beat down and I think killed a black man. Well, this is what maybe I don't know if we should do it because it might be a bit too controversial, to dig in deep with the whole police thing. But to be honest, my view is like, I'm not saying that there aren't racism, right? But I think, again, I've always go back to its power struggle, right? We always think about like rich and poor. but we never think about the power and powerless. So that's why I think nowadays, like I've always said it, right? Being a police officer is essentially being in a gang. And since you have that gang power, well, who do gangs victimize? They victimize people outside of that gang. Okay? Because again, I've seen clips of police officers beating down, killing, and hurting white people. So really, it's like, again, I'm not saying that they don't. Again, this is not saying it takes out like old racism or that they don't hurt black people. But again, I just think that it's because it's a power dynamic. So if a police officer sees you, I don't care, you're white, black, or whatever, as lower than me, as disrespecting me because I'm so high and mighty, since I'm so better than you, I'm more powerful than you. If you disrespect me, right, I'm going to make you pay for it. So, and this is maybe my own kind of view, where I think essentially, and correct me if I'm wrong, but essentially the black community, they don't trust police officers. And essentially, if they don't trust you, they're going to essentially disrespect you in the term of how police officers find disrespect. Okay? Yeah. Because I think even other cultures where they just, for me, as an Asian man, I don't want to do nothing towards a police officer. I will be like just like, come on, whatever you say, fine, I'll do it. Because I don't want to cross that line. Because yeah, I've been in the where a police officer pulled me over. I was scared for my life too, right? But I will be absolutely on my P's and Q's, right? No attitude from me. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am, and all that shit, right? That's the thing where, yeah, even as an Asian man, I would subconsciously, I'm scared, right? Subconsciously, I'm scared when a cop pulls me over. But because I'm scared, I'm not going to even show a hint of attitude. On the flip side is that, is my own thing, right? Black people, or at least a good reported cases of it, they're not scared of police officers, right? And essentially, if you're not scared of them, right, and maybe it's a police officer mentality. If you're not scared of me, you're most likely not respecting me. So if you're not respecting me, when I have all this power, bad shit will happen. That's essentially how I see it as, right? I'm not saying there's no racism, but I see it's more about the power dynamic. But we're going off a tangent. That's beside the point. I essentially think, like, right, still the biggest hater of black men is black women, and it's because there's no surprise, right, that cops would be I'm not saying cops would be the biggest hater, but I mean, cops would be not a fan of black men or black people. But it is a surprise that black women are not a fan, and of black men. So that's why and I see it so often. So that's how I see that dynamic.
Okay. I don't know if I have any further thoughts. I don't. I think there are worse. Yeah, I think there are bigger haters. But oftentimes, black women can be very loud about their opinions. So that's kind of where I stand. Yeah.
Okay, let's continue on with this. Let's see if I can change your mind.
Okay.
The black women are notorious haters of black men. Okay. And I'm not, this is that thing where I want to change your mind. This is the thing where my mind have been changed. So let's see if your mind could be. Because again, for women to say, and this is the thing, right? Well, let me play the clip first.
Okay.
Y'all are
Here's this event that recently happened, right? Just with let's see, would that do that?
Y'all are annoying as Y'all are annoying. As I saw one lady talk about, I thought this was great until my homegirl said her baby daddy was a part of this troll and wouldn't take her kid to the doctor. Wouldn't make a goddamn doctor's appointment for their kid because he had to go put his suit on and stand in a line with some other. My problem was how we don't feel like men are holding their friends as adults accountable for being faithful in relationships, for showing up as fathers, for taking advantage of women. It's just really strange to me what we now view as a positive image. The idea of just putting on a suit. We are witnessing a RICO case, and everybody from YSL are constantly in suits.
This is still low-key a little racist and a little anti-black. It's almost to say the only positive image we can have of a black man is in a suit. The majority of people who do the most community outreach, they're in sweatpants, hoodies, and t-shirts.
But also for a lot of the blue collar jobs, which shouldn't be deemed as unimportant
Or not positive.
are the ones who have to wear the construction boots or denim jeans or just t-shirts.
Y'all are annoying.
This is ridiculous.
I love when you're like, I can't stand this. Like,
I can't stand these things because like this was a positive thing for black men, right?
Did me and my homie find
If
this
you are
or
not
what?
ready for the day, it cannot always be night.
I don't know if that would be copyrighted. This was an event, right? Of black men getting together to show solidarity, to improve their public image, right? It was just a positive thing, okay? And then women found, I'm gonna show you this BS of a man, also talk about it too, where women found a grievance in it, right? And the crap she says, right? It's like, it's so funny that black women, the hypocrisy of them, right? Mm-hmm. Oh my God. Oh, let's talk about blue collar men. Blue collar men? Really? Because on the flip side, these are the same women that will bust on a man for being blue collar, for not making enough money, and then be attracted to the men that are essentially in suits, right? Being the high value men, being the six-figure men. The hypocrisy of it. So this is the thing why I said it, right? Women will find whatever they can, okay, to tear down black men. When black men, this is the thing. I said, we said in the past, we're like, black men are trying to improve their public image, showing them that they're classy, right? That they're stylish, that they're not the men that, okay, pants on the floor, right? Showing their ass cheeks, only wife beaters, right? And showing that, okay, I'm only wearing sweatpants and just t-shirts all the time. How many times women complain about men not having don't have a style? This is the crap that this is what I'm saying, like like why I go back with this, right? Where you don't see it, but this is the crap, right? And then women would agree on this thing. Women agree, they type on the comments. Yes, I agree. 14K view or likes and shit like that, right? It's just women agree with this shit. And this is why I said it's disgusting, right? Because you're just showing your hypocrisy, right? You in one breath you can say that, I want the men that dress nice and all that shit. And then the second voice is like, oh my God, men that dress nice, they're deadbeats. You know, why don't we think about the blue collar men? Do you really think about blue collar men? No. How many times women say that I want a six-figure man? I have so many videos of this, and I bet you these two fat ass.
Be nice.
Yes, these two women are not the ones who are like, oh, I want to date the construction worker. I want to date the garbage man. I want to date the blue collar man. No, they're not. See, this is the hypocrisy of it. And what do you think?
I don't think there's anything wrong with these men getting together in suits. I also agree that that is a very Western image of positivity and success. There are instances where that's been harmful to us in our culture.
Like
Uh,
what?
I
Because
think
I mean, to be honest, let me say this, right?
Mhm.
I kind of hate that way of thinking. What you're saying about,
Okay.
because essentially, Black people as a community are not going to Africa and bringing African roots to Black Western culture. They're not. So essentially, you are Western. I'm. This is where
Who owns it? Who owns the West? Who owns the West?
To be honest, is like, let's say this right now.
Mm-hmm.
We all own it. Okay, because like let me say this. You name things. Hip hop is big, right? Athletes are mostly Black people, right? It's just the things like I hated the thing where we support America being diverse, being a melting pot, and yet we also criticize the U.S. for being diverse and a melting pot. Right? We are so hung up on the past, and yet we don't see the present and the future. This is the thing where I don't like this talking point and think that I honestly believe in unity. Right? I believe our culture is what we have right now. What is today's day and age? This is our culture. This is how it is. Right? Rap, sports. What else? I mean, like Christianity. It's like we're not going back to African religion and all that shit because it's just. I mean, I get it, right? Maybe people sprinkling in some African clothes and all that stuff, but essentially, you're not African, okay? And the majority of Black people, they're not African. Yes, their ancestors far, far back, you could say that, but I've known, I've heard it. African people don't see Black Americans as Africans. They don't.
So, and my point isn't that we should be. I agree with you.
I don't know if you should be because.
Here's what I'm not. I'm not white, right? So, this is the point I was making when I said the Western image of success is harmful. I may not be from Africa, but African Americans have their own culture, and that's okay. We can share it. Our culture is on display all the time, and the examples you named is mostly in show business and on TV and in front of us because athletes and hip hop stars and artists, yes, are often Black. We kind of excel at that, which is great.
Wait, you know what? I want to remind me this. Like, I'm going to say something, right? I want to say something what you just said, right? You got to remind me.
Okay, about us in show business. I got you. But when I'm talking about, like, let's say in the workplace. I'm not against wearing a suit to look professional. But for a long time we've had to fight to wear our hair the way we want, right? Because it's unprofessional. Whereas where the real problem is, our natural hair for a long time was considered kinky and unkempt and inappropriate for a professional setting. Now think about that. Like, so women have to straighten their hair and men have to cut it low. And only recently after a lot of fighting, has things like dreadlocks been accepted, and hairstyles that aren't harmful to our hair because it's a different texture. You see what I'm saying? So just conforming to, if this is a melting pot, just conforming to one way of doing things could be harmful to all the other things that add to that melting pot. So that's the only point I'm making. And I'm not looking for something negative in what these men were doing. I think it's positive that they wanted to get out and look good together and show that they could be. I guess I'm not familiar with what this event was, but I guess they were putting on a show of men looking professional and accomplished, and showing that they're capable of being, successful in the workforce. I get that. I don't have any qualms with that. I guess my small point was just that somebody made that image of what success looked like a long time ago, and I do see where that can be harmful to what actual success is. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't always have to look that way. That's all I was saying. I'm not saying that we got to be wearing dashikis either, but in my culture, a lot of men wear beards and fitted hats, and they wear afros and sweats, and that's okay, because not every job is an office job. You know what I mean? So, but that same problem has affected women too. To portray yourself as accomplished and capable, you have to look one way, and that way is not naturally how we look a lot of the time. So I see. So all I'm saying is that I kind of understand that point, but I don't really have a problem with what these men were doing, and I wouldn't be looking for something negative to say about them. That kind of sucks.
Here's my thing where let's not even Asian people, like Chinese people, right? Back in the day, they had to cut off white people, right? I'm not saying that I don't disagree with you. White people cut off Asian men's cues, right? Where they had long hair, right? They to what is it? To I guess maybe depower or insult Asian men, they cut their cues, and it was against Chinese tradition to do that, right? And they did that. I don't disagree with you what you were talking about with the hair and stuff like that. I see things that differently in the sense that, let's say this, right? Melting pot. I think it's more truer than ever now.
Okay.
We take different things that we all, or majority of us see as, okay, that makes sense. That's not a bad thing. Let's combine, let's take that in. Suits are one thing. Okay. I don't disagree with the hair thing, right? I think that's ridiculous. You grow that naturally. I mean, how you wear your clothes, right? Yeah, I see that. I mean, that's a different thing where, yes, it looks clean cut. So really, let's say black people taking that up, that's a good thing. I don't think that's a bad looking thing. So I see that where we take, and that's the thing, right? In the US, there's Mexican food, Asian food. There's so many cultures, right? So many things we take and we combine. I don't find that a bad thing, right? I do find it when we destroy existing traditions and cultures, right? That's a bad thing, right? And that goes with the hair part. I do see that part. This is a thing where people are taking on certain good qualities or good things. Why is that a bad thing, right? That isn't. That's not a bad thing in my view. Okay. So that's the thing where people are like, especially, let's say black people pushing down other black people, right? This is the thing where I said this word where you're never on the same page, right? And then when you're never on the same page, you're pretty much going to stay down. You pretty much bring yourself down. I 100% would stand for my black brothers to get rid of and destroy the image of black men looking like a thug, looking like criminals, right? Looking like putting like pants, wearing a belt, and yet your pants are still to your knees. And I've seen that. Okay, that's the thing where these type of men, right? This is why one of the things why I like Kevin Samuels, breaking that image. He was a proponent of, I don't do that. You should have multiple suits, right? I'm not a suit man. That's not my thing, right? But I'm saying like, I don't need to improve Asian men their image quality, right? This is the thing where I have a video where I'm talking about black men wearing bonnets. Really? I see more and more like young black men wearing bonnets. It's like, I don't think that's that. I don't think that's a good thing for a black image. And I've seen other older black men saying that that's terrible. Don't do that. And I'm not out and out spoken about because that's not my people to talk about. But I do support the black men that are talking about it because I agree with that. Because because I've seen it where I did this debate with a person right online that there are products, hair hair products made specifically for men if they had long hair or whatever. So really, you wearing bonnets is just like you're just doing it because you want to do it then, and you're just doing it because for no other reason because you're not doing it even for your hair because there are specifically things made for your hair. You're just doing it. It's just you're not helping your image. This is the thing where we talked about this before, right? About black men's image, right? This is one of the things that we're talking about, right? Here's black women too, right? Seeing black men's image as crappy and they think that's fine. But when the black man's trying to prove their image, oh, now now no. Let's go back to go back to the blue collar, go back to wearing sweats and white tee. It's like, and then those are the type of men that you say, oh, I'm not gonna go for those type of men. This is what I'm talking about, right? And then when black men make effort to change those views, this is what they get.
It's tough out here. It's hard. Look, all you can do is be the best that you can be and not worry too much about what everyone thinks. Because, like, all right, so when we talk in general about, and I get it, you have to, or else you can't really have a productive conversation. But when we talk in general about this is how one group feels about us, and this is how another group feels about us, or this one group says this, and then they change their minds and they say that. Everybody has an opinion. Everybody's opinion is different, and everybody now gets to broadcast it instantly.
Yeah.
Right. So there's got to be a point where you just stop being concerned with everybody's opinion. You know what I mean? Like, so like I agree. It's not helpful to hear one thing from a black woman online and then hear the opposite thing when you try to change. But no matter what you do, there's somebody who's going to like it and there's somebody who's not going to like it. And those two people may be black women, one on this side and one on that side. I got to be who I am. I can only be the one way. And if somebody doesn't like it,
see, this is the thing, right? You're essentially right. Everyone has an opinion, right? That's fine. I don't care, right? You can have an opinion galore. Well, what I want this channel and what I want us to do is let's hold people to the fire.
Okay.
Let's hold people accountable because we have an opinion too. And I like that. And this is what I'm saying, right? Where I want to show you, this is where be upfront. Hold these black women accountable. Say the shit, right? Hold these women's BS accountable. Hold these women, these black women talking the BS, right? Hold them accountable for their BS. That's the thing. I think men nowadays they're fed up. I'm one of them, right? And I'm going to hold women accountable for the crap they say, which I'm doing with these women, okay? And that's what I want us to do, right? And this is what I want to show other men about, right? Let's hold all these women accountable for the crap that they say, right? Because you know what, you think that you have a voice and it means something? Great. Well, let's see what it means, right? Let's see what you're saying, right? Let's see the logic or not in it. And hypocrisy or the delusion in it, because you're not just going to say it with no consequences, right? Even if it's a small consequences, which we're just a small consequence, but I want to give men the knowledge out there, right? You can see them talking, you can see that how it is, the hypocrisy, the delusion, you can see it. And I'll always ask my audience, do you see the logic I'm putting out? Do you see my viewpoints, or you tell me about yours? Because I would love to hear. And this is the thing where I love today's day and age, 2023, is that men now have a voice. That's what I love the most. Right? These two women, no different than 20 years ago, 10 years ago, 30 years ago. Women always had a voice. Men have not. That's the thing.
Okay. Interesting.
And this is the thing where I want you to have a voice too. I want you to be fed up with this bullshit that women talk about.
I don't know, man. Can we say we haven't had a voice if, in large part, we've written the history books?
I can say this. What I like this quote that winners are the ones who write history. It's not a direct quote. I think winners are the one. I forgot what it is, but it's like winners are the ones who write the quotes. Honestly, average men, are not the winners.
Okay.
Right? They're not winners in life. They're not. So really, no, we're not. Don't have voice.
Okay.
Oh, now I remember. I wanted to tell you, right?
Yeah.
There was a funny thing with the God, I can't find it. But there was this guy saying like black people only listen to entertainers. That's their only idols, right? They only follow entertainers, right? Their jobs or their goal in life, right, is entertainment. That's pretty much it. I was like, wow. I'm looking back at this like, I think that seems true. It's all about entertainment.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow. That's really fascinating.
Largely, yeah. I mean, I think that's true. Actually, we could have a long discussion about that because I think that's true.
You know what? We can include that in our rap episode when we're talking about that.
Yeah. Actually, we should do that. We should get on a rap episode, and that should be one of the subjects. Because I have
hope you guys would pay attention to that one, right? The two other people that did you sign into the? Are you watching the stream on your phone or no?
I am. Yeah.
Okay, well then the only one person that's watching this. Hey, I still love you guys, so it don't matter.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Because there was a couple people who joined but left, but it's fine. I think that's good. It was a fun talk, fun conversation. Whoever the one person is that's watching, you are amazing. Thank you. Hope you guys love and support our channel, our videos. I want to continue making more live because I think this is fun, right? I do want to set up where you could see the chat too, right? Because you using StreamYard, right?
I'm using StreamYard here on my computer. I got the stream on my phone, so I can see the chat.
Okay, well then, but then we'll set up that more next time, so you can talk.
But if there's a way to set it up here, or
it should be on the corner, on the side. You don't see those icons on the side.
I didn't. Now I do, because I was in the private chat. That's what it was.
Okay, well that would be for the future. But again, we're still learning, so it's all good.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was fun.
Actually.
But I love this, right? I'm loving putting it live, and I think it will get more. It'll probably get more fun as time goes on because you can see the little chat window. I mean, JR is an amazing.
Thank you, JR.
on many. Yeah, he's joined on many of my lives.
Yeah,
right.
that's awesome.
So I want. I definitely want you to be a part of it. So so my subscribers will get to know you. So then it will become your subscribers. That's this is like, I want like our friends, right? I pretty much view my subscribers as my friends. So, you guys are amazing. But anyway, I think this was fun, interesting conversation. We could go on longer, but I think that's good. It was cool. Thank you for joining. Thank you. I hope you guys hope you guys subscribe. Hope you guys would watch my other videos. But yeah, it was awesome. But that's it. Later, guys.
Pleasure, guys. Until next time. Take care. Hold on, I'm trying to see if I can get the balloons again. The Mac is tired of me. It's not. There we go.
No, you know what? I think that's your thing. If that you could do that, right?
Yeah. I love it.
Later, guys.
See you guys.